Thanks for checking out our channel. This is going to be just a little show and tell overview of this particular unit. This is Cyclops Brute. This is their AC 110 volt unit. They do make a 12 volt version of this same unit. So if you got one of these you want us to take a look at for you, you're welcome to send it here. You can call or text me at that number there, or email me. There's our address to ship it to. We also work on the cattle scales and low bars for weighing livestock animals, you know, Gallagher's and true tests. We also work on the EID tag readers for that people use for scanning ear tags on animals. Mostly Gallagher's, but we can probably tinker on the true test ones, I guess, too. Working about any brand of those things, but those are the two brands we get more of the low bars and scales. But anyways, this is a Cyclops Brute. This one's a 2015 model. It's been tinkered on before we got it by somebody at some point in time. It had gotten water in it, you know, so any AC model, I don't care what brand it is, they need to be either installed indoors out of the weather, or if you're going to put them outside, you got to build a box for them or something. You can't just put a little lean-to overhanging shelf cover over the top of them. You got to protect them all the way around. And so the bad thing about the Cyclops is they're plastic. It's okay when you first get them. You know, they're supposed to be a nice deep red like these are. You can see it's faded quite a bit because the sun's been beating on it, and they get brittle and crack and stuff like this. So this has a little chip knocked out of the plastic case there, but you can see it's all faded. It's only 2015, so it's 7-8 years old or so. Good models, or good units overall for the most part. We had to replace a lot of things. So we do a lot of wiring. We had to put new fuse mounts on the sides here because they were all ate up. Yeah, you know, you might get lucky for the first few times if you got one, and maybe you get a storm come through and it gets a little wet on the outside, but maybe it doesn't work its way inside and quite touch stuff and short things out. But this was pretty gnarly on the inside. It needed quite a bit of work done to it, but it's still cheaper for us to fix this one than to buy new ones. We give a 1.5 year warranty on the repairs. It was a free quote. Brand new, they're about $350, give or take, for this particular unit. And we fixed it a little over half the price to fix the thing, but had a lot of new parts in it and a lot of rewiring and new connections, new wires, and a whole mess of stuff. But it's going good now, and the customer said fix it. So they know that they need to put it inside now versus keeping it outside. And that goes for any brand. I mean, these things, all they are is an overlapping case. They overlap about that much, about the width of this little area right here, about how much they overlap. There's no gases, just an overlapping case, front and back case overlapping each other. So you got to protect them. You got to keep them out of the weather. Put a bucket over them, do something. That goes for any AC model, Parmak, Gallagher, Power Wizard, any of them that have AC. They're AC mounted units. You gotta protect them when they're outside, or put them inside like they're supposed to be. But sometimes that's not able to be done. So there you can go see it clicking right along, flashing its little light. So put the fence tester across it. What the hell that's at? Nice and hot, 10,000 volts. It's a 10 stored joule, 8 output, so it almost puts out exactly what it stores up to send out. You know, every brand's got stored joules, every brand's got output joules. It just depends on where the brand and the company wants to pull their ratings from. You know, you look at horsepower on a car or truck. Oh, I got a 375 horsepower vehicle. Well, that 375 horsepower might be pulled from the engine, not the wheels. The engine horsepower is your stored joules, and your wheel horsepower at the ground is your output joules. Or like on a tractor, you got engine horsepower and PTO horsepower. You got to say a 50 horsepower engine, the tractor, maybe 50 horsepower at the engine stored, and PTO horsepower might be say 40 or 35 or something like that output joules or PTO horsepower. So that's another way to look at it, because you have a loss between capacitors and the boards. You have to go through that transformer, and so there's always loss, so you never get a one-to-one output versus stored. It's always a little bit off, and some brands are more off than others. Sometimes it'd be 10 stored joule, 5 output, or 6 output, you know. So there's all sorts of stuff out there for different brands, but it all depends on the efficiency of their transformers and the parts. Some just more efficient than others, I guess. But anyway, that's it for this video. I mean, it's working, see it clicking and flashing right along. So if you got a Cyclops Brute AC or DC version, welcome to send it here. If you got a Cyclops model of any kind, you're welcome to send it in here. We'll take a look at it. But pretty good units. They got the little quirks to them, but thing probably still be running good like it probably was originally until water got in it and messed it up. So this is how it goes sometimes. Until next time, we'll see you later on. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you later on.